World of Pop.
Number 9. Well, hello and welcome. I'm Joshua, and this is
Jordan. I'm Jordan.
You remember your name?
Yeah.
All right. Well, today we got a really good episode, so good that the last section had to get bumped up to the beginning. But before that, we have announcements. So I'm kind of embarrassed by this, man. Maybe check out all of our new content on Instagram Reels, IGTV, and TikTok. I act like a complete jackass for the whole world, and I want you all to see me in my glory.
I want to tell you guys, it's really something. Josh, every morning, Josh wakes up at 4 a.m.
Every day it's lit.
Begins a several-hour recording process where he dances to music and
no, we do other cool
makes
things.
Coffee,
satisfying videos.
Yep. Definitely, we're going to get into making mocktails and cocktails and coffee-based beverages.
There's a lot of fun things that are going on in our lives that we want to share, and we have, and we have committed to a lot of new content, and soon YouTube is going to be popping a little more. Apologies on that, but for now, we're really focusing on recording these shows, on these actual podcasts that thank you for everybody who listens to.
Yeah, thank you. I see that we had somebody in Scotland last week.
Really?
Somebody in Scotland was listening. Again, I saw that whoever was out in...
Hope they were drinking scotch while
whoever
they were
was out in UAE, I saw repeated, listened again. We've got some...
Repeat listeners?
New listeners in Nebraska.
Well, we have a link tree in our bio that has all the links where you can buy our coffee and listen to us or watch us or do whatever you want with us. But
It's
either
true.
way... We're official, I think, because when you have a link tree, you're official. There's like so many links. You just can't have a link. You have to have multiple links.
Yeah.
All right.
There's like a dozen links on there.
Enough about us.
We're all over the place.
Well, it's all about us on the show.
It is all about us.
It's all about you at home.
It's our world of pop.
Yes, it truly is. And we want everyone to get stoked. So we're going to start by talking about a little more about us. Because we're going to talk about organic coffee. And that's what we roast. We exclusively roast organic coffees. And I just wanted to kind of shamelessly self-promote ourselves, and let people know the difference between conventional and organic. There's a lot going on behind the bean that you might not really know about. So
coffee is one of, if not the most heavily chemically treated organic products. Or not organic, but when I say
conventional, let's back up.
Yeah.
Conventional coffee. Well, you're kind of right. Everything is organic. It grows from the ground.
Yes.
Blah, blah, blah. Yep. Okay, whatever. Conventional coffee, though, is highly toxic, not just sprayed onto the plants. When you spray something onto the plants, you're also creating runoff that leaves, before the runoff even, you have the farmers whose health's at risk, as well as, now the plant's absorbing the pesticides, these heavy metals, these synthetic fertilizers, these chemicals, it's just all insecticides. It's just all bad.
That's right.
Yeah.
All of that runoff from rain goes directly into the soil, gets underground into the aquifer or your local runoff centers.
Yeah, and it can poison your local communities. So we're talking about the farmer's health, your health, and like villages of people in cities of people who you'll never know that, by buying conventional coffee, cheap coffee, you're perpetuating this cycle of poisoning Mother Earth and ourselves along the way just to save a buck. And we're not about that at all at Pop Coffee. At Pop Coffee Roasters, we are 100% dedicated to organic coffee. Now, that's just the first part. The second part is how it affects the flavor of the coffee, too. So, for example, because organic coffee has no synthetic fertilizers and no chemicals, they're using things like they are using fertilizers, but they're organic ones.
Natural.
Like coffee pulp
Yep.
and chicken manure.
Love it.
Chicken shit. And compost, of course, because I know from back in the day when I grew some pot, compost is key.
Compost is important.
Yeah, and compost teas. So basically, by using coffee pulp, chicken manure, and compost, you're producing less carbon, thus making your organic coffee also have a lower carbon footprint. That means, if y'all don't know, that's like a measure of how much carbon's been emitted, whether it's the fossil fuels burned in the transportation or in the farming processes or in the activities of your own daily life. Every one of us and every crop has a carbon footprint that it leaves on the earth. And so by buying organic, you're actually reducing your carbon footprint by buying a bean that has emitted less harm on its way to you. So there's an unseen benefit in a sustainable kind of way. But anyway, the flavor just get back to that, is what most people care about. How does it taste in your cup? And that's also the #1 reason why we do organic.
Yeah.
That is because without all that crap in there, you can really just taste the difference because you're actually getting all the bright, I like to call it the bright notes. And if you're using a paper filter, like I'm a big advocate that you should be using a paper filter to get, that leaves all the bad behind.
Absolutely.
Yeah. If you're not using paper filters, I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, metal filters are really weird. Mesh filters are really weird. But back to organic coffee, yeah, that brightness that you're talking about.
Well, especially the filter actually does matter a lot because let's say you do have some beans that are like in question, like, and you're using a stainless filter, you're getting all of the like not good stuff. But what you're getting with the organic coffee is a richer taste, but also it's richer in antioxidants.
Yeah.
So there's a health benefit. Coffee can be a health aiding drink that you can drink every day that can help your health, or it can harm your health if you drink the wrong coffee. Yep. Basically, and use the wrong filters. So be careful how you brew. We'll get into that more. We'll do a filter talk sometime. But honestly, I think that wraps it up. You can really taste the difference. You know, if you're going to be making, you're going to spend your hard-earned money. I hope you try some of our coffee and you try organic coffee in general because I don't know, as a roaster, is there anything you'd like to add about the difference in roasting organic or conventional?
No, I mean, you know, I've worked under other people where they haven't necessarily been stressed about organic. So I've roasted plenty of organic and plenty of non. Mm-hmm. There's no real, I don't know, there's no discernible difference between roasting either one of them. More so just a difference in the actual prominent flavor of the beans. I see that organic coffees, or at least the ones that I've had, tend to be a little bit more acidic. Mm-hmm.
Is that acidity due to maybe some of these nastier things that?
No, I don't think so at all. And again, acidity is not necessarily a bad thing. Acidity is a people that enjoy, or you know, a flavor that people enjoy.
Yeah, there should be a certain level. We like to do like a very low acidity, you know, medium roast, but it's just a part of coffee, and I also think there's a pH, you know, level, and some of that's about how you brew.
Yeah, when you have a really acidic coffee, when you have a fairly acidic coffee, not even a really acidic coffee, when you have a fairly acidic coffee or a coffee with, you know, an understandable, pretty run-of-the-mill in-between level of acidity in it, but it's not an organic coffee, there's a little bit more of a, like a stinginess to it almost, like a sharpness to it. That's a little unpleasant.
That I have tasted the sharpness when you put it like that.
And it's, you know, you'll understand if you've tasted it. It's because acidity has a hint of sharpness to it, you know,
I'll leave
inherently.
This cafe nameless, but I got some coffee there the other day, and I tasted that sharpness, and I literally walked out and just dropped it in the trash.
Yeah, sometimes it's far too much.
Not going back there. But they have really good pastries.
That is true.
Yeah,
very good.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But definitely moving on to our next section, Jordan is going to talk some more. He's going to please you with this section because I think it's actually something that everybody should be gaining popularity. But there's a difference too, also between cold brew and iced coffee, and we're going to talk about
cold
iced
coffee in general. I'm talking about iced coffee here.
Be specific because people throw these words around and they have no idea what they're talking about half the time. I mean, baristas included out there. Y'all need to get it together and like tell the customers what they're actually buying. Because cafes are giving people, oh, you want iced coffee? And they just give you the cold brew. Or your cold brew and they're just giving you iced coffee.
Yeah, and you know,
that's not what the section's
every time
about,
that I go to a cafe, I always make sure to ask. I try to order an iced coffee, and if they say, we don't have iced coffee, we have cold brew, I order an iced Americano. Because I don't really like cold brew all that much.
So before you tell us your favorite way to make iced coffee,
that's right.
Can you tell us the difference between cold brew and iced coffee?
Yeah, so cold brew is a slow steep. Cold brew would be like, have you ever had sun-brewed tea?
Yeah,
sun-brewed tea,
that.
Killer. Cold brew, super good if done correctly. A lot of people do it wrong. So essentially, if you could imagine, you're steeping coffee grounds in water, making sure that all of the coffee grounds have been fully submerged, leaving it to sit. From anywhere from, I've seen people do 12 hours, I've seen people do 36 hours.
Wow. Wait, 36 whole hours?
People get crazy.
I heard overnight.
Yeah, usually that's a pretty good bet.
I
I think my old recipe that I had at a cafe was start to taste at 14 hours and pull when it was ready. It was 14? Really crazy.
14 was a lucky number?
14 was when you started to taste it.
Well, 13 is my lucky number.
So you would go back to your 5-gallon bucket that's filled with water steeping with coffee in it, which is of course inside of a filter. And
how many gallons at a time were you making?
5.
Okay, full gallons.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And putting it in kegs and pressurizing it, running it.
Most people at home are only making like a half gallon at a time.
Yeah. Cold brew is really easy to fuck up at home by yourself too.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're doing, and also it's a really easy thing. I don't order cold brew at cafes explicitly because not a lot of people do it the way that I want.
But it is easier to do at home than people would think.
It is super easy to do at home.
I've seen you do it. You've come over and just made me iced coffee, and I'm just like, whoa, how'd you do that? You understand
but that's not cold brew.
That's why we're here today.
Iced coffee is usually brewed on the spot.
So,
hopefully.
That's the difference there.
Yeah, yeah.
So, iced coffee is not extract. Okay, cold brew is, to be specific for everybody, an extraction. It's a cold extraction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
brew is
not necessarily a cold extraction, but it's definitely not a hot one. It's cold steep.
It's steep. Okay, not extra. Steep.
So it is it's a kind of extraction.
Yeah, exactly. Technically, scientifically, it's all a chemistry experiment we're doing every day at a pour over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, whatever, it's a pour over, a cold brew, or whatever, it's all some type of chemistry experiment.
Yeah.
Anyway, therefore, now I hope that helps somebody out there. All of you. I hope that benefited someone. I hope there was value to listening to us just shoot the shit about cold brew and iced coffee, because before I knew, I mean, and still you just educated me. I mean, I'm not a big fan of iced stuff.
I haven't even talked about iced coffee.
I know, but I'm just not a big fan of cold drinks as much as hot drinks.
I'm a big iced coffee guy.
Yeah, and I know you are. So that's why we're going to let you take the reins here and just talk about your favorite iced coffee.
Yeah.
Way to make it.
A lot of people... This is my least favorite way that people make iced coffee. And this is why people don't like it. Cafes will just brew a whole pot of coffee. And then just put it in the fridge or leave it out, let it sit. Not
go from hot, extremely hot to cold.
Yeah,
that's not okay.
Well, no, they'll wait for it to chill out at room temp, and then they'll put it in the fridge. But that's kind of weird. And I don't mean cafe. I'm talking about like Coney Islands, or a diner might do this for their iced coffee, or a lot of people do it at home. This is how a lot of people do their iced coffee at home. They just brew a whole hot pot of coffee, they let it sit, and then they pour it over ice after it gets to room temp, which is fine. But it doesn't make a very good fucking cup of coffee.
No.
So...
Not at all.
Personally, my favorite way to make iced coffee is a pour-over. You just use half of the water that you were going to use in your pour-over, or roughly half, in ice.
Yeah, so you took...
So it's some people call it Japanese-style iced coffee, Japanese-style cold brew, flash iced coffee, whatever you want to call it.
I like that, flash.
And you can do it with a coffee dripper too. If you have...
You did it with the Chemex at my condo.
I've done it with Chemexes. You can do it with a V60. You can do it with a
V60 into any size
you
carafe.
Can do it, yeah.
And you just substitute 50-50 with ice and water so that you're pouring the hot water, that's the normal temperature, 200 degrees, over the grounds through the Chemex or whatever, V60, and then the ice is in the bottom of the carafe. And so it's like actually going over through the grinds and then directly onto the ice. The coffee is dripping on the ice.
So you're doing a pour over. The hot water, the hot coffee is dripping down. It's dripping directly onto the ice, and it's melting the ice. Yeah. So you're further diluting it. So you're brewing a little bit stronger coffee per se when you're talking about... It was
delicious when you made it.
When you're talking about the volume of water going in, but it's self-diluting itself at the end.
Yes.
You know, and usually, typically when you're done... All of the ice in the carafe has been melted, and you're left with not hot or cold coffee. You're left with, kind of chilled room temp water or, coffee that you then pour over ice.
Yeah.
It's perfect. And then that way, if you don't finish it, you put it in the fridge. It's not like you're putting coffee that sat out for 6 hours to reach room temp. You're not putting old coffee in the fridge.
It makes so much more sense.
You're putting super fresh coffee in the fridge. You're drinking super fresh coffee. It's, honestly, it's super quick too. It's also like faster than taking the whole time to brew
it takes the normal
hot couple cups of coffee.
I'm shocked, like, because it's really simple, and people do it the wrong way all the time. Like, so many times have I had a sip of iced coffee and been like, I'm good. I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I'm not doing it. But I love the way you make it. I love we call it Japanese iced coffee. Basically, put ice in the bottom. Do a pour over, use half the amount of water, Pour it over ice.
That's right. Next week, I want to talk about Americanos.
That's actually, I'm not going to.
People make
that's
me.
Why I got into coffee.
People make me drinks. Really, really mad when they make Americanos wrong.
Yeah, they suck when they're wrong.
If I wanted an espresso, you know what? I'm gonna talk about it next week. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry.
We're not gonna bring it up, but we do have something.
I'm very passionate about Americanos.
Did we have any?
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking about the nog, man.
Oh, we screwed up, dude. We said that we were going to
talk about it first, but guess what? We're not.
I guess the eggnog went to my head.
We lied on air.
Again.
Hey, we're not going to bring up the other times. You guys are going to have to figure that one out.
We have a video that goes along with this episode that, we can't. Actually, I'll tell everybody what it was. I was made aware that the McDonald's statement I said that this woman got a ton of money from McDonald's. Apparently, for spilling coffee all over herself, like in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, apparently, she only wanted to get her hospital bill paid for, and McDonald's shit-talked her to death in the media and made it sound like she was money hungry.
Ran her through the mud.
Yeah. Scandal.com. Yeah. I am not about that McDonald's. I'm not really about McDonald's living my lifestyle and being healthy and promoting organic lifestyle and coffees. I can't. I just can't. If I'm really drunk, I might get the nuggets.
The nugs are the nugs.
I'm just a sucker for nuggets.
They're a lifesaver sometimes.
Yeah. Anyway, we're getting off track. So we made a drink and we made a video. We'll be releasing, and we got some photos for the gram. But honestly, it's fucking delicious. We did not have high expectations, and it came together so randomly.
Yeah, honestly, I remember before this, I was like, "Hey, this is not going to be good." I hope you know that.
That look in the video, I'm genuinely shocked at how fucking good it is, and asking you to try it.
It's so good. It is really good. I do want to make it different next time, though.
Well, now that it's metal or like. Now that it's mixed and sat and got room temp, it's even better.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go back to it. What we got here is, I got my official name, an eggnog marshmallow pour over topped with chocolate sauce.
That's right. I brewed about a single cup of coffee.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
We didn't even use much coffee. Like we just did I want to say about an inch at the bottom.
Yeah.
So let's back up. We got a nice glass. We filled, instead of ice cubes, we filled it with large marshmallows.
Huge marshmallows.
Yeah, the big ones. With the s'mores ones.
Oh,
so yeah, so we got a glass full of marshmallows, okay? And then you pour in a third or a quarter cup of coffee.
I probably used about 2 ounces of coffee, I'd say.
Okay.
And then the
Eggnog
Recipe.
And your favorite eggnog?
We used
Prairie Farms.
Just because we were pressed for this, we used Prairie Farms. Yeah,
just a
surprisingly minty eggnog. It's got a mint flavor to it. I really like it. We used some Woodford Reserve.
Oh yeah, we used the good bourbon.
Yep.
So you mixed in the bourbon so you mix the bourbon and the eggnog together with a spoon perfectly, and then you pour that over the marshmallows and into the coffee. Now the eggnog is heavier than the waterier coffee, so it's what it does is this really cool thing. It kind of like goes to the bottom and makes the coffee, pushes it up to the top. It's like some weird French press.
Kind of looks like a lava lamp.
Yeah. So there's this cool, satisfying effect with this drink, as well as you're replacing ice with marshmallows, and then, of course, when you're at the top, you just drizzle chocolate, sauce all over the top.
And again, we're going to be really hitting it harder with these cocktails,
DIY drinks, baby.
Coffee cocktails, brew tutorials and whatnot.
Honestly, we've done 2. So the other one was a holiday. I think I'm gonna get it right. I think it was a dark chocolate or a mocha dark chocolate with cranberry that we did the other day. This is way better than that. That one, we made a great video, so go peep that. I definitely like this. Like I honestly I'm gonna be making these.
Yeah, these are delicious.
100%.
These are definitely an end of the day at the office, kind of.
This is a festive drink. I'm so glad we stumbled across it.
Light a joint, make some eggnog.
Oh, speaking of which, where is our joint?
Yeah, I got it right here.
Yeah, light that baby up. Because we got about a few minutes left, and then we're going to let these people go. Because it's just been a really wonderful week. It's been a wonderful month. We've been doing this for a month now. And we want to just tell everybody thank you for your support, and that we're going to be, dropping a lot of good stuff soon, especially coming up through 21. Like January next month. It's, you know, we're definitely having a good time, and there's just so much more to come. We're definitely also getting started with the DIY drinks. So if
you've got any ideas or something that you'd like to see, definitely please let us know.
If you made something with our coffee or anyone else's, just shoot us a comment on any one of your favorite social media outlets and or a DM, and we'll try to get your drink highlighted on our show. Also, we're going to be syndicating everything on YouTube. Right now, we're slacking a little on that, but it crashed this morning. I want to talk about that.
Yeah, YouTube and Google, gone. I went to watch my SNL skits in the morning. Couldn't. My whole morning was off.
What were you trying to watch?
No, I'm just kidding. I didn't know until you told me.
No, what's your
4
favorite
PM.
SNL skit?
Oh yeah, that one that came out the other day. Oh, it was if you the listener is familiar with Eminem, and his music video for the song "Stan," in which I think this is where the term "stan" comes from. Like if you're a stan for something, it means that you are batshit crazy for something, someone.
And like the type of tie him up and put him in the trunk and drive off a bridge crazy.
Like, you're my favorite celebrity. We should fucking die together.
Like Selena.
So SNL did a skit. Pete Davidson played Eminem's part, Stu.
Oh, so it's creepy.
He's doing this to Santa Claus. Santa Claus doesn't write him back. He writes Santa Claus a second letter. Very angry.
I highly suggest that everybody gathers around the laptop and watches this with their mom and their grandma.
It's wonderful.
It's, maybe not your young children.
Or, I don't think he swears very frequently, but there's implied violence.
I love how good. They even had a cameo of Elton John. That wasn't in the original Eminem. That was just completely random. That's when you know that they're on one. So SNL, even though you guys kind of blow compared to when I was young, we're going to give it to you here and there. You're actually putting out good content. So we don't have anything else to talk about, I think.
Maybe someday we'll get the SNL cast, all of them on the show, and you can tell me.
I hope that they regain.
You can talk to them about what you don't like.
I hope that they get better again, because when I was growing up, I'm telling you what, SNL, we all look forward to it every week, right? It was every week.
Every Saturday, baby.
Yeah, Saturday night, live from New York. All right, we're ending the show. Everybody, we love you.
Stay caffeinated. That's Josh's tagline.
Okay, we can't end until you say your tagline. I don't have a tagline. And if I did have a tagline, everybody, it would be stay caffeinated and carry on.
And if I had a tagline, it would be, it's always a great time for a cup of coffee.